and welcome back to Children's Reading Cove. This is Chapter 5 of Dragon Master's Song of the Poison Dragon. Chapter 5, A Nervous Hydra. The next day, the Dragon Masters brought their dragons to the courtyard as the king had asked. "Are you sure we have to do this?" Petra asked, walking with the Hydra behind her.
"This won't take long," Griffith promised her. "The king just wants to show off your dragon to Queen Rose."
Drake was happy to be outside with Worm. His earth dragon slid across the grass beside him. Shu was next to Bo. Capri walked with Anna, and Vulcan stomped along behind Rory. "Did you name your Hydra yet?" Rory asked Petra. "Not yet," Petra replied. "You can't rush these things." King Roland stood in the courtyard waiting for them. He was tall, with a bushy red beard. Queen Rose from the kingdom of Arkwood stood next to him. She had a kind face, and she wore her hair in 2 long braids. Behind them, the king's guard were trying to hold back a crowd of villagers. "I thought we were just going to meet the king and Queen Rose," said Petra. "Why are so many people here?" "Word must have got out that the dragons would be outside," Drake guessed. "The villagers have been excited about the dragons ever since they found out about them." King Roland came toward them. "Good morning, Griffith," he said in his booming voice. "Thank you for bringing the dragons." The king walked up to the Hydra and then turned to Queen Rose. "See, this new dragon has 4 heads," he said, "just like I told you." "This is an amazing dragon," the queen said. "What can she do?" Griffith started to talk about the Hydra. 2 little kids ran past the guard. They each had a dragon toy, a dragon head with a long ribbon tail attached to a stick. They chased each other around the courtyard, waving the sticks. The Hydra's 4 mouths frowned as the kids got closer. Her 2 front feet started to paw the ground. Drake noticed it, but Petra had her back to the Hydra. Then Drake's dragonstone started to glow. That sometimes meant Worm was trying to tell him something. Now he could hear Worm inside his head. Petra must calm the Hydra. She must pat her head right away. Drake nodded at Worm. Drake ran up to Petra. "Petra, your dragon is nervous," he whispered to her. "You must pat their heads." "Pat their heads?" Petra asked. She looked pale. The Hydra started to snort and pant. "Is something wrong with this dragon?" King Roland asked. "Petra, do it now," Drake urged. "You don't pat a Hydra's heads," she said. "You're supposed to pat their tails. Everyone knows that." She moved to the back of the Hydra, reached out, and patted her tail. "Aye!" the Hydra cried out. One of the heads reared back, the head closest to King Roland. A light mist sprayed from the head's mouth. King Roland fell to the ground. End of chapter 5. We'll see you soon for chapter 6. Bye-bye.